Well, welcome to Bumi Sparsha's community weaving space. I am Ayesha, she, her, and your majesty. I am of a stolen lineage on a stolen land, which is called Baltimore, Maryland. And I am pleased to be holding this space with a wonderful driver who's going to make sure we don't get lost or unzoomed to the best of his ability. We're doing the best we can. And Eric, please acknowledge yourself for the people.
Oh, hey, I'm Eric. It's really nice to see all of you.
Okay.
In this moment in space and time or some other one. I got to get back to my Palo Santo.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you. We need all the things. So, yeah, so whether you're here or will be listening later, the invitation is to let go. Let go of what just happened. Let go of what may happen after you finish listening to this, being here. Perhaps as best you can, let go of the story that your mind has in this moment. Maybe it's about yourself, maybe it's about somebody else. But let go. And we're going to support that letting go with some music and allowing yourself to just listen and release as best you can. Inviting all of us to take a breath and rest in the light and the mystery of how we found ourselves here. And taking a moment to perhaps give yourself up. Because whatever sense of right moves or wrong moves, you're here, we are here. And that is no little thing. It is not a little thing to be here. So just come on in to this place where the only rules to follow is to acknowledge that you're not late, you're not wrong, you're not sorry. So, in many traditions, you come into a place and we want to bring to the altar, bring to the circle, whatever is going on with us, so that it might, whatever it is, might receive the benefit of the community spirit, courage, hope, love. So perhaps thinking about that for a while I share a little bit about community weaver and community weaving, and why this place, why even me. In our Bumi Sparsha communities, there are numerous places to practice, to listen to the lamas, to be community led in our own practice and wisdom sharing. But the specific reason this space is offered and why I offered it is because we can not do anything if we don't connect to each other. Places of mindfulness and awareness can drift into places of carefulness. Authenticity, the calling in of authenticity can drift into performance because we don't want to be wrong. We don't want to get caught in our enoughness, not enoughness. We want to get an A. And so I was blessed to come out of a community in which it was a given that to be together is to pay the price of what it means to be with each other in messiness, to know that woman can be a wonderful mother and an alcoholic drunk on the weekend. She not bad. Just take the kids on the weekend. So this is a place in which you can be encouraged to bring your whole messy, sassy place, because that's what that's our foundation, that's our strength, is to be in community for real, so that when we go to practice, it doesn't drift into carefulness. And we don't drift into performance, even with ourselves. And to know that we are here together. So that is why me, and that is why this. So at this point, I would like to, traditions, encourage you to check in and bring what you want to the altar, what you need prayed on, what you need held, how you need to be held, in joy or in pain. You might want to share your pronouns, you might want to share where you live, but most important, I believe, is to bring to the altar what you need, we need to tend to in this moment.
I'd be happy to share. I think that something that I would want to put on the altar just as a celebration is a joy I feel very grateful to be experiencing right now, which is the blessing of being able to do satisfying work that is feels worthy and makes effort feel like something that's not just a burden. It might be it might be a lot of effort. And like easy is like not the point, right? Easy is not the point. Work that feels good to be challenged by. So hallelujah. And some things I could use some praying on right now is just really pragmatically. My partner recently lost their job, and like we're doing well. I do whatever I do, and Justin, my partner, is a an artist and general creative entity, and so we got our hustle, and it's good, and it works well for us. But also, just like, having enough resources to take care of yourself in the way that you deserve, and we're both white, so we're like, we're okay. We really are okay on many, many, many levels. And we're like feeling this pulse of reality that so many, that like other folks are also really, really close to and under. So I just pray for, could request some prayer for resources, and that all people experiencing poverty be taken care of and given access to what they need to experience joy and freedom on their own terms. Thanks. That's my.
Thank you. Yeah. It's going to the altar is a vulnerable thing. So I appreciate you bringing that. Mm.
I got new glasses recently, and I've been thinking about how I'm grateful just to be able to see because I didn't really I've always kind of had a light sensitivity issue, and I didn't really realize how much pain I was in constantly on a low level until I got glasses that they're called transition lenses where they react to light and darken, and it's just like it's it's awesome just to be able to perceive things clearly. Um, and knowing that is a temporary thing on the long scale of things is very precious, I guess.
Thank you.
So, oh, and look, Astrid's here. Now my heart's so happy. Mahamitra, I've been in space with you for a long time. It's good to be in space with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so given what the messiness you were talking about, I guess I'm just going to put on the altar the messiness of looking for work in the body that I'm in. And I actually am interviewing for this amazing job that I'm 100% confident that I have the experience and the mental capacity for, but do I have the body capacity for it?
Mm.
And you want to talk about messy?
Mm-hmm.
When are you supposed to talk about that shit in an interview? Because you're not. So you have to figure out how to ask questions and quietly make assessments.
Mm.
And there's also this whole ADA related process where, like say you get all the way down the line where maybe they make you an offer. You can ask for a reasonable accommodation. Well, what's reasonable, you know? So it's all feeling very messy to me. And incredibly frustrating because why wouldn't somebody want to have the experience and the capacities that I have for whatever number of hours I can offer them and so many other people like me? So many other people like me that because you don't, it's like the Fisher Price workbench, for kids. Like if they can't pound you into one of those shaped holes, get out of the workbench. You're not in here. That's the way it's been for so long. And it's feeling a little bit like all the virtual working uh, that happened during COVID is changing that a little bit. So I'm just diving in and being messy and interviewing for jobs that I might not have the physical capacity for because what gives me the right to count myself out? No. So that's it.
Mm. Mm. Astrid, we're just bringing what we want supported and tended to, not just by our individual selves, but in community. What, how, bringing it to the altar, putting it on the cloth to be cared for. So if just let me know if that's something you want to do. It's all, everything is optional. Put it in the chat. Well, I'll say what I want put on the altar. Physical pain and heartbreak. And a deep sense of dis-ease with how this world is constructed to support separation. Feeling the support of knowing nothing is wrong, but it's hard. Blessed to have met food, shelter, and clothing for this month, and it's looking good for next month. And it's hard. So putting that on the altar. The heartbreak of knowing, maybe. Again, Eddie and Astrid, we're just checking in a sense, bringing what we want tended to, not just by ourselves, but in community, supported, whether that's something wonderful or whether it's something hard. So if you want to share right now, good. And if you don't, it's all good because we're all here.
Hi, everyone. Good to see everyone. It's been a while. Good to see you, Eddie and Laura, Eric, Mama Ayesha, Mom Mitra. Yeah. I mean, there's always joys and sorrows, right? So, yeah, I guess I'm celebrating a amazing learning opportunity that I've been able to have. And yeah, it's just fantastic. It's just probably saving my life. I think I'll look back and think, it is saving my life. Or it did save my life, you know? So yeah. Champagne all around. But it's amazing, like all the pain that it sort of took to get here, you know, navigating all the systems, and I'm still navigating the workplace, Laura. So I'm feeling you on the other side of that. Whew, it's a thing. I tell you, entering is, you know, the workplace is challenging, but just leaving a job, it's just like, wow, it's a real big thing. It's almost like, yeah. I had have this image of like just being kind of caught by an octopus, and like every time I take off one of the arms, something else is like now wrapped around, and it's just like, what? Like, how do you even navigate that? So yeah, just I guess maybe just wanting to kind of have some co-holding around that, around like the ending of that job and the month-long process of leaving, which is way too long, but that's what the system requires. Um, so yeah, I'm just like, yeah, thank you for the celebrations around the new direction. Yeah, it feels so significant, and yeah, it feels aligned. So thank you. Hmm.
So everyone has spoken but you, Eddie. Do you want to come in? Or?
Are you putting me on the spot, Dharma sister?
No, little brother. I'm just saying, I'm giving you an opportunity. See, I always want to make you sure you have an opportunity.
I just needed to clarify that
Well, you all right. You good.
before I shared. not a happy share, but Laura actually has already heard this. But I had a really weird experience with a therapist last night. And it's somebody that's in recovery. And she works with PTSD. So I called her and she said, I'll give you a call back. And she called me back at like 10:30. I should have known then this was gonna not work out well. So the first part of the conversation was okay. And she wanted to set a date and time, and I didn't know, really what my schedule was, 2 weeks out. And then she started to give me shit isn't the right word, more sort of attack is too strong, being aggressive isn't quite it. Hard ass should not be doing PTSD work with people. So basically, and I didn't say that earlier. It's basically she's traumatized, and she kind of kept digging and digging, and I'm like, what the fuck, At a certain point, for me, it's freeze. When it comes to trauma, it's freeze for me, and I don't know what to say. So apparently, she took that as me being uncommunicative. Good word, but I'm still, this is how I'm kind of talking to her. Like, I really am not sure. And then the harder she dug into this, and I'm like, what the fuck? But when I get into, kind of freeze state, I am not going to, jump in, and I give therapists way too much power. I give away my power and don't empower myself and ask, questions. But I guess it was, oh, cool. She called me at 10:30. She's dedicated to this, but that, my impression was, and it's sort of the, my body has a certain feeling when it's been traumatized. We all do. And it just keeps running in my head. Should I said this? Did I do that? And did I somehow bring this on me? Is she a crazy fucking bitch? I don't know the answers to those questions, but I do know people who know her, and I'm curious. For me, it takes a certain amount of time to let go, and I really don't know this person, so I could let it go, walk away, but there's something that really fucking pisses me off. I didn't defend myself. I did not say I am worthy of being treated with kindness, with compassion. And I guess I get used to that in, our community that, kindness, compassion, that is it. And if it's not, there's a problem. So I get, maybe there's shock in this for me too, that, you should know shit, especially somebody who works with, PTSD. And I mean, maybe she was tired. She shouldn't have fucking called. You know, maybe she was stressed out. She shouldn't have called. So now I'm kind of realizing some of the things that, you know, kind of occurred, you know, with that whole thing. I mean, it just totally unexpected. In fact, my chest, you know, feels like it's almost vibrating, you know, a heart feeling. I'm not sure. So yeah, I don't feel heartbroken, but my heart hurts, you know, that shit like that, you know, happened. And I don't know, maybe that's part of the lesson in this for me, is that first noble truth, and then the Eightfold Path to go with it. I think I'm I don't know. I just, you know, when she started digging into me, I just, yeah, hurt that I didn't defend myself and just, you know, fuck you. May not have been the most appropriate thing to say, but, you know.
Well, it's on the altar now.
Altar, yeah. That quivering, that woundedness, that hurt on the altar to be cared for and prayed over. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you for listening, guys. I needed to get that out.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So, Miriam, we're just, or just, there is no just. We're bringing what needs to be tended to the altar, whatever that is. So if you would like to offer what you would like tended to.
Thank you, Ayesha and Eddie. I came in partway through your story, but just, yeah, witnessing at the moment. But I received the offer, so I'll check my heart to see if I have anything to add to the altar.
Well, Miriam, do you have anything? I'm not. Don't want to start while you stroll into the altar.
Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think I'm just coming in with a tender heart around community, like making community, and how to hold our feet to the fire when there's hard work to be done, but still love each other and love ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, perhaps we can just take a few breaths and connect to all that's on the altar. Knowing that it is not an individual experience that's offered, but human experience, particulars of our human journey. What I wanted to share tonight is about holding on. Because these are hard times. Even if nothing is wrong, even if you can make the rent this month and it's looking good for next month, that's right. Even if this is a beautiful community that always wants to acknowledge its relative privileges in certain areas and the fact that we are on Zoom. We got internet, which speaks to we probably have electricity too. And we don't have to deny. And I'm not going to deny life is hard. So that, I've been first the acknowledgement and to be able to be in the gift of community where somebody's not going to tell you, well, yeah, I know. It's not that I don't know. And hard. I'm not stupid. I'm just aware. And to not be afraid that and I'm resting on a couch in a place that has decent heat and my body's on fire. I'm blessed to have a bed to sleep on. And I just woke up and I need to go back to sleep again. It's hard even to admit how hard it is sometimes. But if I don't admit how hard it is, I can't connect to what I need to do to hold on past the hard. So I wanted to share this poem by William Stafford, The Way It Is. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it is hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you can do stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. And that holding on, that the Dharma is faith for me. it's let's see, but even with the let's see, there's a faith embedded in that and a courage, because people wonder about what you are pursuing. And to the degree that's the people are internalized, what are you doing? And even if the body can't do it, we can call in some good criticism of how it should be, how we should be, how I should be. But holding on, I am, for me, this path has been the path of nothing is wrong with me. And for you, I don't believe that anything is wrong with you. There are people that disagree. However, they tend to believe something is wrong with them. So something must be wrong with me. It's spring, and I know everybody's got a workshop about we gonna journal and do a dream board and dance naked in the sun, which all of that is good if you're about that life. I may be about it. It's gonna have to get warmer. And I wonder, is that implicit in the changing of the season? Because I'm reaching into the persistence of hanging on, even when it doesn't make any sense. Even when my mind or other people would invite me to let go. We could be over here talking about young people ain't shit, or we could be talking about who hurts the most, or if you'd only taken a different vitamin with seaweed and whatever it is, to let go of the thread, to let go of this rope, to let go of this dharma that says nothing is wrong with me. And I believe that part of that holding on is the seasons. That the flowers are not saying you need to do more. You need to be happy. This is a happy time. Well, yeah, it can be. But nothing is wrong if I'm not happy. I can look in the couch, on my couch, my body on fire, and the gift of the Dharma is to notice the beauty in the clouds. And there is a joy and a certain amount of settling, but I am not happy. And you're not going to make me feel bad about the fact that I don't want to put flowers around my head and fake dance around the tree, because I don't think that's what spirit or even nature is saying to do. But so many things come up with that holding on. I'm blessed to come from a lineage that explicitly is aware of the need to make a way out of no way. And embodied in that is faith. It's faith. And I also want to call on the folks that got in steerage coming from Ireland to be in a, to get a job in somebody's kitchen. And if it's a woman, hope she don't get raped by the son of the house. folks that immigrate, they may thinking it's going to be better and it's not better. Sometimes it's worse in a way. And connecting to them, to my own as protectors, to hold on. Let's see. Mhm. And also to reach out, because many of us in this community got letters and numbers. And I, as a Black woman, have been appreciated and utilized for my endurance, my smarts, but smarts, the ability to be smart and endure, which I should not have endured. But particularly for those who have been prized for their ability to be unaware of the pain of their bodies and tricked into their smartness. Using the gift of awareness as a weapon against you, that you use against yourself. This system, I'm telling you, this system is smoother than any pimp I ever read about. Okay. Don't even have to come. Just, to go out and get the money and give it to daddy. It's so smooth. Read the book Iceberg Slim. I'm just saying. Read the book Iceberg Slim. It's a great. And what I believe for me is, there's a certain amount of awareness and practice, but the deep practice is to reach out and say, I don't feel good. It hurts. At a different time, there would be somebody in the house or across the street or down the way you could walk over and fake be okay with, but they had known you and you were okay. And eventually you could get around to saying something, either just being in the kitchen. And maybe feeling that it's not so bad and that maybe nothing's wrong with you. Maybe you're just tired. But mostly they would be, at least in the world I come from, would say, I know, baby, because it's hard. I know the sun is shining. I know you just got paid. And 3/4 of that gonna go to the landlord, and the third of what's left is gonna go to rice. But by the time, sometimes, whatever it is, and it's hard. And when it's hard, the need to reach out. So I laid on my couch, inflamed, and thought about a lot of people, some of who's here, some I reached out to, but mostly I laid on the couch and watched myself muscle through. I held on, but the gift of Dharma, I believe, is saying, but do you have to hold on like that? Can you take your little string and bring it to someone else who has a little string and maybe twist it together so it's a little bit stronger to hold on? But this is a hard thing to do, particularly when there's no built-in support as it was when I was coming up. I grew up in a multi-generational family where the gift of that is that there was at least one adult that wanted to be bothered with me for real. And I watch so many children and people that don't have that anymore. We gotta, at the very least, get on the phone. And depending on what kind of people you've cultivated in your life, folks are, particularly upper class white folks, seem to be scared of poverty, and scared of they're gonna catch it. And unfortunately, that this disease has, you know, moved out, and folks are, you know, if you don't feel, if the sun is shining and if you're a 6'4" white guy, you know, you can get cabs and everything. You know, you got to cultivate some friends that can be with the and you got wounded. You got to find a way to develop the strength to be with each other and acknowledge it's hard. And sometimes that's deeply felt. And there's no shame in being aware of that and holding that and tending to that. I believe at this time we need all the things. The gift of this community, call on Tara, call on Medicine Buddha, call on Jesus, call on Aunt Bessie. I know some of y'all calling on my grandmother, Bertha Lovett Evans. Don't deny. You know, I found myself remembering pretty recently, girl, you got protectors. You know, when it's hard, I experience almost like a wall can come down, you know, that shuts off not the truth of protection, but the awareness of it. And sometimes I need a human voice to say, girl, me too, girl. And then Mama, Bertha Evans, come in and go, child, look, it's gonna be okay. This is not the worstest thing that happened to you. It is something, and it hurts, and it's hard. And the choice to acknowledge that, but choice needs support. And often need that support most when there is pain, lack of capacity, I'm broke down. And holding on, not just to the Dharma, but to each other. And the only way we're going to hold on is to know that we're all suffering. And in this path, this awareness, you know, I know there's some people in some places doing MBSR and, you know, your life going to be stress-free. That is not my experience. You know, when you've been hurt. Even when you're 6'4". And the weight of that, the weight of that. And the world has said, what's wrong with you? We done sent you to school, and what you doing? Holding on is part of holding on to each other. There's a line in the song, you know, Eyes on the Prize. The only thing that I got wrong, I stayed in the wilderness a day too long. The only chains that I can stand are the ones we make hand to hand. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. For those of you who do not come from a tradition which people will hold your hand, it is a deep practice to throw your hand out. Sometimes it'll be held, sometimes it won't. Deep practice. But somebody's gonna catch it. Known or unknown, seen or unseen. But there's a cultivation. I was looking up persistence in the different Buddhist tradition. They talk about not to work against laziness. Shut up. Shut up. What do you mean lazy? Okay. Yeah. Nobody's lazy up in here. Nobody is lazy. These words. So somebody, I'm almost finished. Somebody, once told me I was in this white intelligent group and I got on somebody's nerves and she said, oh, Aisha, you're just trying to rewrite the Dharma to suit you. I've been, yeah, girl. You should too. That's how you know stuff. You distill what you're getting and then you put it in ways that yeah, that's what you know. I'm not fooling with this. I mean, y'all, everybody in here grown, but all this laziness and write this and write that. I mean, I'm okay with I'm just saying these words can be weapons to me. That's how it lays on my body. Right effort. What? If there was any justice in the world, everybody of my enslaved lineage should be given like at least a 400-year break from doing anything. Shut up. Don't tell me lazy. Let's see. You can, unless your folks came over here in first class, I'm just saying no to all of this stuff that's dangerous to me. Because it's an invitation for the destruction of that seed within us. That little flame that flickers. That courage that got you here. When you get someplace with an open heart and they tell you you're wrong and what you need to do is I'll just say this for holding. I'm going to bring up Fannie Lou Hamer because like so many women, so many Black women, she kept the sky, we roaming underneath the sky that she left. They tearing it down again, but we build it again. Woman that died of her wounds, suffered caused by the state power of Mississippi, and really the United States. We have to find a way to sing. We have, I believe, to keep that light, to hold on. It's a reason, I know I rejected in my youth a lot of the songs, the liberation songs, because they happened outside in a history that I was not happy with, And so, like many young people, you don't know how to take the wisdom, understand the complexity of somebody that puts a religion on your back and in your mouth, meaning it for you to imprison you in some kind of way. You make that a puzzle piece, and then you make Jews Black people, and then you create songs that talk about liberation, not just talk about it, but also are codes for physically leaving, but the gift, the Dharma, the truth, all wisdom says, take everything. take everything and praise the bridge that carries you across. And don't let anybody make you ashamed of your bridge. And I know everybody's vegan now, but I'm gonna praise the bridge of collard greens with a square fat back in the middle. I'm not gonna, and everybody's not vegan. I was just being shady, but I'm just saying, that just that holding on. You might have to hold on my hand, and I got pork grease in one hand. I got, and you might have some tofu in the other, but times are too serious. I believe it's too serious for us not to be holding on, to be finding a way out of nowhere. Because that's what Mom is saying. It's too serious. We can. One of the best things a recovering person, I believe it was a drug addict, or maybe it was a recovering alcoholic. The only thing to be fierce about is, he said, is sobriety. We got to be ruthless. About that little seed, you can't be fucking around. It's too fragile. People in recovery tell me, you might not have a drink for 30 years, but if you don't stay on top of your shit, and it's not this, I don't believe it, but it's just the preciousness. I know I left toothpaste on the toilet, and I know I said I was gonna call at 10 and I didn't, but that's not an invitation for you to tear my heart out. We're not doing that. Just everything isn't for everybody. So just the invitation that we hold on, and the only way I believe we can do it is to hold on to each other. Because the flame, whether it's pain in the body or the flame in the world, is not going to become less strong, less fierce. It's not, I don't believe. And it's more insidious. It's because it's been made respectable. The difference between the Klan and the White Citizens Council, right? It's the difference, and so up trying to explain to the judge, who's a member of the White Citizens Council, and the idea that somehow we can make a deal. Mama said you can't make a deal with the devil because he never keeps his word. That's the internal or the external. So I want to end this with the song of Fannie Lou Hamer. This little light of mine, finding a way to each other in song.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it
So we have a bit of time to you to share whatever is alive and jumping, rolling around. We all know about agreements, but we have cultivated a culture, right? Everybody here is grown. Nobody is showing up to hurt anybody else and extending each other grace and mercy so we can be messy and true and real. So you're invited to come on in.
Ayesha, something that was coming up for me as you were talking is just an awareness in my own journey of how much truth there is in something Rumi's attributed was saying, which is that life is a balance between holding on and letting go. And how much I've found sometimes that in order to have something, I need to let go. And how therefore letting go is it's not the same as holding on, but it has the same purpose. It's a life forward commitment or investment. And just like it really is that balance, because sometimes you can hold on too much. Sometimes you can let go too much. So that was really coming up for me as you were speaking. And I appreciate you bringing all that in. Thank you so much, Ayesha. Always appreciating all my time with you.
You know how I feel because I tell you on the regular. Thank you.
I accidentally stumbled on a talk given by, I forgot the guy's name, but Harvard's been doing, and this I learned in adult education, it's been doing a study for 75 years on the same group of people. And he just pared down. He said the one thing that longevity required was community, connection. That was the key to happiness and longevity. I was like, oh, he just happened to be a Buddhist too. I was thinking of that as you were talking. It's like, not that I like science all that much, but it had something to say, worthwhile.
I don't have many words for what I am working through, but I feel like I'm getting the medicine that I came here for, and also just recognizing that I contribute to the medicine just by coming. So thank you, all of you, especially Ms. Aisha.
Thank you, babe.
Have you ever thought about coming down and living in Florida?
Who? Mary? Well, Mary to come to Florida? Baby, I can't. I feel no, really. I not living, but no, I'm real talk. I ain't scared. I ain't scared. Uh, but yeah. And I tried Georgia. And baby, if I couldn't roll with Georgia in terms of living, but but now I'm not above some skullduggery. Let's talk offline. You know, sometimes we forget that this has been illegal in my lifetime. What we're doing here right now has been illegal. And all of us, but particularly white folks, y'all would have paid a social, economic price for this. We forget that this being together is 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 the ultimate revolution to stay connected, because everything supports separation. So whenever folks feel like you're not doing enough, yeah, that's not true. Just remember that. You breathe. That is sufficient. Now, I just really want, please take us with you as you move out into this world. It's not crazy to notice what you're noticing. That is the gift and the burden of this journey, I believe. We notice things. I know so many of us are getting into trouble because we notice things. Even we're not trying to start no trouble. People notice us noticing them. Even when we haven't even done nothing. And sometimes I'm gonna bring it all in here. I'll bring the hoodoo in here. Sometimes spirit know when you up in here trying to be free. They can smell it on you. They can smell it. You think you being okay. You think you fitting in. Where you been? So that smell of freedom that you carry, please be aware and take us with you. Would somebody like to offer prayer before we put the music on? That's a dedication of merit, a prayer, well wishes, a poem. What is your heart telling you?
A spontaneous prayer poem is coming. For all people without power, whether that's electrical or political, physical or spiritual, for all the moments that any of us are without power, for all the moments that we are with power, any kind of power. May we be together, may we share, may we hold that power with care and hold each other with care. May all beings benefit from us being together.
Shay, so again, that holding on to the gift of yourself, of the gift of your life. So we're gonna dance. So some of y'all know who Sam and Dave is. Some of y'all about to find out about Sam and Dave. May your night be sweet as you are. Love y'all. What a blessing. What a blessing. Take care.